Yes, thank you, Bill. Well, this is the funny bit before the serious bit, before the Indy Carnival race this afternoon. But it's not real serious, Alan Grice, for the people, or not real funny, I should say, for the people driving in these cars. Let's have a look at the starting grid. On pole position we have...
First of all, Glenn Shorrock.
Lead singer of Little River Band, 20th anniversary tour last year.
Alongside him, Richard Wilkins.
Entertainment editor for the Today Show.
Then second row of the grid, Guy Leach.
World Ironman champion.
Alongside him, Scott McRae.
Actor, theatre, television, stage productions.
And row 3 is Bill McDonald.
From 10 Brisbane Sport.
Greg Welsh.
Triathlon, Ironman winner.
Row 4, Lynn Talbot.
From the television show Healthy, Wealthy and Wise.
Gary Eck alongside.
Yeah, from Channel 10's Candid Camera. This will be funny.
And Tim Bailey on row 5.
10 Sydney Weatherman, an all-round fun guy.
Alongside him, if you've seen him, that's not Joe Bugner, that's Mr. Bugner. He's that size.
The heavyweight champion of Europe and the Commonwealth.
Peter Senior.
Golf champion, world ranked 47th outright.
Jelly Taylor-Smith.
World marathon swimming champion.
Then in row 7, Tim Webster.
From Network 10 Sports Tonight Show.
Alongside him, Suki Mead.
Yes, breakfast presenter from the CFM Morning Crew, local Gold Coast radio station.
And on one row back and by herself, Angela Brown.
Host of Totally Wild. So, as these cars get ready for the start of this 5-lap Drake Celebrity Challenge. Here from the Gold Coast, these are little Suzukis. They're a nice little motor car, a Suzuki Swift GTI. They're all exactly the same, powered by a 1.3-litre engine.
At the moment they are.
5-speed gearbox. And they'll grid up in that order with Glenn Shorrock on pole. He's an old petrolhead himself, Gricey. Glenn's been around motor racing for a long time.
Well, with the paint job on that car, I mean, he should win it hands down. But one of two things normally happens in these celebrity races. One is that the instructors, when they've been teaching them, have them so petrified that they drive around like they were in a car park shopping area. And the other thing that happens is the atmosphere, the people, the crowd, the colour get to them and they go absolutely berserk. I wonder which one it's going to be.
Very competitive, too, when you've got people like Guy Leach in there, Joe Bugner. I mean, these guys have really thrived on competition right throughout their whole careers, and they generally tend to do better in these sort of races.
Yeah, well, there's no question that people that have been able to focus and pick up and learn the ability of winning, they tend to carry it with them wherever they go. I think there's a lot of people down there that are pretty sure they're going to win.
So, Atiko Suzuki have put together the feel for this as part of their Atiko Suzuki Challenge. They run a year-long challenge with these kind of cars. Let's go down to John Smales.
And on pole position is Glenn Shorrock, who at 2:30 this morning was still performing at the Marriott. Glenn, how are you feeling?
Well, it wasn't quite 2:30. It was about 12:30 I got to bed. I feel good. I feel quite calm. I'm very privileged to be on pole position. But I've got 3 or 4 quick guys around me. I'm just going to try and stay out of trouble and stay in front at the end. You know, that's as the old cliche goes.
Got on your mate back in the field, Mr. Bugner.
Yeah, Joe Bugner, you almost just fit into this car.
This is like a bad shoe. Tight everywhere.
You're a bit overdressed for what you usually do for sport, Joe.
Yeah, I've got to tell you, and there's more butterflies flying in this one as if I was having a big fight. You know, I think the concrete walls would punch much harder.
All right, John Smales.
The surf is up over there and it's going to be up here as well. I just hope they don't start the race while we're talking.
All right, they're a great shot of Guy Leach on camera too. Well, let's hope that Glenn Shorrock around here doesn't have as many hits, Alan Grice, as a Little River Band.
Well, look at his eye there. I mean, while he was being interviewed, he refused to take his eyes off the bitumen in front of him. I think anything could happen, and probably will, as they say in the classics. To see Mr. Bugner there, that particular headgear that he's wearing, I guess he would have liked to have been wearing that in some of his previous fistic engagements.
I wonder if 5 laps around here is anywhere near or 5 rounds around anywhere here are anywhere near as bad as the 15 rounds with Muhammad Ali he did.
I think he might be thinking it's similar. And he went the distance twice with Muhammad Ali, I might add. He's the only bloke ever to do that.
And fought Joe Frazier and came back to boxing too, only in the last 12 months, and has done pretty well. Won his first 2 fights, but was defeated in Germany a couple of weeks ago, and I think has announced retirement again. But a great effort for Joe. I mean, he's been...
Absolutely. And this is his next event. And they're about to go into a warm-up lap. I don't know why they need to warm them up. I think they're really warming the drivers up. The Suzukis really don't need a lot of warming up. The tyres that they have will be quite okay.
So we'll wait for the bell for the start of this 5-round event here at Surfers Paradise. It's the Drake Suzuki Celebrity Challenge. Intense concentration there from Tim Bailey. a man possessed. You can almost see the eyes, the whites of the eyes popping out from behind the sunglasses.
All these people now have guest CAMS licenses. I believe this is because some years ago, Peter Bartels, who was with CUB at the time in a celebrity race over at Adelaide, started about half an hour too early. You know, when the starter was still looking for his flag, Peter Bartels was gone, and of course the officials later figured that what can we do with him? None of these people, they're just invitees. None of these people have licenses, so we can't find them. We can't do anything to them. So from that point on, they've made them guest license holders after the training they have, and then the same rules that apply to everybody else almost apply to these people.
Almost. 17 starters in this race, and we're standing by. They'll do one warm-up lap and come back for the start. 5 laps around here. Lap times, Alan, about 57 minutes, 22 seconds.
Yes, a couple of days a lap.
More action to come, so don't go away. The celebrity race is on its way. This is Indy Carnival 96 on the Gold Coast. Great shot of Timmy Bailey from Network 10 as he gets ready to grid up for the start of this Drake Suzuki Celebrity Challenge here from the Gold Coast.
I've never really seen a professional driver wear glasses like that. Maybe this could be the new mood that's coming into motorsport.
Tim is used to this sort of thing too. A couple of years ago, Gold Coast based Tim was then. He set a world roller coaster record on the SeaWorld roller coaster for 8 hours non-stop riding.
Could happen again today.
Glenn Shorrock, Richard Wilkins, Guy Leach, Scott McRae, Bill McDonald, Greg Welch, Lynn Talbot, Gary Eck, Tim Bailey, Joe Buckner, Peter Senior, Shelley Taylor-Smith, Tim Webster, Suki Mead, Angela Brown, Angela Bishop, and Lisa Curry-Kenny round out this 17-car field.
That's Mr. Bloke at 6'5" and 19 odd stone, as fit as he is, he's a mister.
A great athlete, a great champion, now based on the Gold Coast too, is our own Aussie Joe, following Tim Bailey there. Little Suzuki GTI Swifts, front-wheel drive car, 5-speed gearbox. Round here, they'll probably top just on 155, 160 k's as they go down the main straight. Mainly all second and third gear corners, though, for these cars.
I'm not trying to make excuses because he's threatened to thump me or anything like that, but in little cars, little small capacity cars like this with not a lot of horsepower, as fine as they are as a city car, the more weight in them, get the old power to weight ratio, so some small stature person certainly should get down the straight quicker than some larger person who's the car's got to carry all that extra weight.
These drivers and cars have been through 3 days pretty intensive training at the Surfers Paradise Raceway through Safe Drive Australia, and all have come through pretty well unscathed. Not a dent, not a scratch, not a mark, not the rollovers and the hits we've seen in past years.
And sometimes it's better to try and train the cars than the drivers, though, for these things, Craig.
All right, well, we're set for a start. They're gridding up now. You're watching the Drake Suzuki Celebrity Race on Network 10 Sport. This is the race before the big one.
We should see the crash from out of that camera. It's very well placed.
Now let's hope Tim's put it in first. He's just checked. Thanks, Tim.
Checked, yes. That could be outside assistance, if he heard you then, Craig.
So, sitting there waiting for the start. Heart rate about 185 beats per minute, I reckon. About the same as an astronaut experiences on takeoff.
5 seconds.
Stand by. This is a 5-lap race. Glenn Shorrock on pole. Richard Wilkins next to him, and it's Wilkins who's got the jump, I think. Watch for Guy Leach too in third spot. Then Scott McRae, Bill McDonald, and Leach moves over on McRae. But I think it's Wilkins who's got the jump from Glenn Shorrock. And they're all fairly cleanly away at this stage. Wilkins now hard on the brakes as he goes through the first chicane.
Into the first chicane. Cross your fingers. There's 2 goes. Yeah, that's fine. I guess they're not really up high on the gears yet, though, but very gentle and ladylike through there.
Yeah, very tidy as they go through. Head now down towards the bottom end of the track, and they'll pick up third gear. Before again braking hard for the left-hander at the bottom end of this track. Everybody through safely. Suki Mead there, car 90.9, which is the frequency of the radio station she works for. And they'll pick up second, third, and now looking forward to coming. There's Wilkins. Under pressure now from Glenn Shorrock.
Yeah, Shorrock's moved up a little.
On the short straight now as they turn onto Beach Esplanade. So it's McRae, Welch, Leach, McDonald, Eck, Timmy Bailey, looking pretty good too.
Well,
Lynn Talbot.
I don't know if he was on the wrong line or he's actually having a look down the inside there, Craig. He may have been having a look down the inside, getting ready for a bit of a devil outbreak manoeuvre.
So up the back straight they go. And it's still Shorrock. We've got a great in-car shot from Tim Bailey's car as they come up towards the S's. You'll hear the car get back to third gear.
Hopefully.
Thanks, Tim.
Oh,
back
look
to
at the
second.
teeth. The teeth are gritted. Oh, the gearbox is not going to like the gritted teeth.
Yes, if you can't find the gears, you just grind the gears. Is that right? Back up to third.
Yes.
Checks the rear vision mirror quickly. Oh, talking to himself. Pulls fourth gear, back to third.
And look at the teeth. The teeth are actually changing gears here. It's got nothing to do with the hand.
Hard on the brakes through the Foster chicane. Tricky part of the track for these drivers.
Get over the curbs. Look at them now. Oh, driving around. Get over the curbs. Let's have a look at this.
So we're halfway through the first lap. This stage, no incidents. But Tim's coming under a bit of pressure now from Lynn Talbot from Network 10's Healthy, Wealthy and Wise. So there'll be quite a bit of personal battle between these two. Trying to pick up what Tim's saying there, but here, this is the battle for first outright. Richard Wilkins in the little Suzuki, car number 1, closely followed by Glenn Shorrock in car number 12, onto the main straight. Shorrock's got the inside line.
Just going to drive up the inside. Has he been tweaking that car, or did we have a misgear in the other car? I think possibly a misgear.
Down the main straight, they'll pick up 155, just touch 160 k's as they head down here under the bridge.
Oh, into the slipstream, pulling some of that back again. Yeah, it must have been a misgear. There's nothing wrong with the car. It's going fine.
So it's Shorrock, Wilkins, Welch, McRae, Leach, McDonald, Henderson, Bailey and Talbot, who round out the top 9. Shorrock now, still under pressure from Richard Wilkins. Both these guys, of course, have driven in celebrity races before. And Shorrock is an old petrol head from way back.
He's being very neat and precise. I guess the instructors have probably told them also that it's much quicker not to hit the curbs. And of course then the instructors get in the cars and go out and drive straight across the curbs and go quicker.
Back in third spot, you've got Guy Leach. And they're starting to spread out a little bit now. There's Welch, Greg Welch, triathlon, Ironman winner.
Holding third.
As Glenn Shorrock continues to dominate this race, but under pressure now from Richard Wilkins. Welch is in third spot, McRae fourth, and Guy Leach fifth outright, then McDonald, Eck, Bailey, Talbot, Aussie Joe Buckner 10th outright. I thought we'd see perhaps a bit more action from Joe. Alan?
Well, right behind, here's a bit of a probe down the outside, which will help Gary Welch.
Yeah, so a bit of a challenge there being thrown out to Guy Leach too from Bill McDonald, Timmy Bailey, Lynn Talbot. Hit the brakes at around the 100-metre mark before the corners. Through the S's. Up into third gear.
Oh, grit the teeth.
Back to second.
There's every chance that he won't go the distance. I can see a cramp in the jaw coming up there. I can see he might have to pit to get his teeth apart.
Okay, so we're watching Network 10's Timmy Bailey in the Drake Suzuki, the little 1.3-litre car. Brakes hard for the hard left-hander at the top end of the circuit. Very slippery through here. So let's recap. Glenn Shorrock, Richard Wilkins, Greg Welch, Scott McRae, Guy Leach, Bill McDonald, Gary Eck, Tim Bailey, Lynn Talbot and Joe Buckner round out the top 10. We'll be back. Welcome back, Australia, and we've got a new race leader in the Drake Suzuki Celebrity Challenge. Richard Wilkins has passed Glenn Shorrock, Greg Welch still in third spot. We'll watch the replay now as Wilkins takes a big dive down underneath Shorrock.
Oh, and watch it. Wobble, wobble. Oh. Hard under brakes. The car starts to move there. Look, right, the hands on the wheel, the heart's in the mouth, and a bit of a squeeze from Glenn, too. He's doing a bit of a Richard Petty into that corner. Got the right colours for it. But does he come out of the corner? Yes, he does, and that's a nice pass in the end.
So Wilkins now has pulled out about a 1.2 second gap over Shorrock, and you've still got Greg Welch there, just pulling in behind, the triathlon and Ironman winner. And these three so far have dominated this race. They're on their second last lap at this stage. Hard on the brakes for the S's, back to second gear, up over the ripple.
Ah, that's better, that's better. We get across some ripple curves, that's a lot better.
As they again head up towards the back straight. This is Lynn Talbot, car 14. Overcooked the Barter-Car chicane. Hear the roar from the crowd.
Across the curb, and then instant panic, paranoia set in. She got off that. That looks a bit quicker. Yeah, look, they're getting into the hang of it now. Another 400 or 500 laps, and they'll be really putting it together here.
Yeah, I think Welsh is pulling up onto the back of Shorrock a little more too. He's only about half a second behind.
Yes, I think you're right. Just a couple of more desperates, and he'll be right.
So Tim Bailey still hasn't closed his mouth for 5 laps. Looks like he swallowed a grand piano, doesn't he?
Yeah, he'll have to suck lemons for a month to get the smile off his face after this. But look at those teeth. He's actually changing the gears with his teeth.
Is he a chance for the Alan Jones team at Bathurst, do you think?
Yes, but I'm not sure what sort of team Alan's taking up there. But pull the hands back and look at the eyes, those glasses, the teeth are gritted. Oh, how's he going to get through this without cramp in the jaw? I don't think he will.
Yes, I can see a new set of veneers coming up for Timmy Bailey. Bites the lip and gets on with the job.
And Glenn Shorrock's trying to get back too. He hasn't given this away.
No, he won't actually, because we've only got 1 lap to go, so they're now on the last lap. The gap is now down to 1.2 seconds. Shorrock now making a run. Can he get into the slipstream of Wilkins' car? On their last lap, right up behind him now, through the Barter-Car chicane. This is where they all come unstuck.
I think he's going to have a shot at the end of this next straight. We've got another little chicane to go, and then on the rush down to the bottom of the circuit near the A&A Hotel, I think Glenn, I can actually, if you just listen a second, you can just hear the mind cranking up, the strategies coming into play. He's going to get a little bit of a slip, and he'll do to him what he had done before at the same place. I think that's the plan. A bit far away.
So Shorrock now, again, looks down the inside of Richard Wilkins.
Can't do it.
Wilkins covers the ground nicely. Second gear, quick change up to third. And Welch is hanging on to the back of these two. So if either Wilkins or Shorrock do something silly, takes them both out, Welch could well and truly end up winning this race.
These cars are pretty well trained, these three cars. The instructors have done a good job with those cars. They're very well trained.
We've seen no brake lockups, no scratches against the walls, no missed corners. It's all been very tidy.
It's a bit of a worry, really, isn't it?
Joe Bugner back in the field in 10th out right. As Shorrock again has a look down the outside of Wilkins.
Oh, he's going for the run through the corner, but he had to get out of it because a little bit of understeer over towards the wall. And the pacemaker almost skipped a beat, I think.
Golfer Peter Senior back in 9th spot. Suki Mead 12th. And Tim Webster 14th. Through the Foster chicane. And Shorrock still only half a second now behind Wilkins. And Welch just on a second behind. This is going to be tight towards the end of this race. They know they're on the last lap.
Is he going to have a lunge? He's got a few little right-hand corners coming up here. I think a mistake is the most likely pass, but...
through Queensland corner.
Yes, they're all holding it in, holding together. I think, come on, have a dive. We've got one more shot coming up, one more chance. Go for that. No, you're on the wrong side of the corner.
And they come onto the main straight for the finish of this 5-lap event. And Wilkins has got the power down. There's not much in it, I tell you what. Shorrock's going to have a look down the outside. Don't think he's quite got the car speed. Tucks it behind the draft again. And that's the way they'll finish this Drake Celebrity Suzuki Challenge.
Yes, there's the checker flag. 1, 2. I think we'll find Wilkins, Shorrock, Welch, Leach, McRae, Henderson, Bailey, Talbot Senior, and Mr. Vugner in 10th.
About 0.2 of a second was the gap between first and second. Replay of Timmy Bailey now going through the chicane.
The teeth turning to the left. The teeth are a bit wide there. The tail out. Bit of correction there. Hang on, there's a bit of wall up here. No, I'm right.
Richard Wilkins there in car number 1. Great performance. Nice little car too, little 1.3 litre car, and Glenn Shorrock in the STP colours. Welch, the Ironman champ, triathlon.
I think that the description of the overtaking manoeuvre that Wilkins pulled on Shorrock will be talked about over boxes of amber fluid for a long, long time. The way the strategy worked, the way I set him up, and I saw that he was a little wide there, so I worked at him and got him in a position for lap after lap, and then I lunged at him down the inside. I can just hear it now.
Sports Tonight's Timmy Webster there. Finished 14th outright. And we'll have a look at the results. First outright, Richard Wilkins. Glenn Shorrock, second outright. Greg Welch, Guy Leach, Scott McRae. Sixth, Gary Eck, Timmy Bailey, Lynn Talbot, Golfer Peter Senior, Aussie Joe Bugner,